we're going to move on to how you would actually submit data. So you'll log in the same way as shown before, using this screen. And instead of going into the yearly schedule, you will go under Data Operations. And the particular item that you will use to load raw data will be this Manual Entry of Counts, or for short, we call it the MEC. The first screen that you're going to see when you open the MEC will be basically a listing of all the batches that have been submitted for all users or just yourself. And a batch means a set of data in a file. If you're ever curious if you've submitted something already, you just have to type in the sequence number right here, and it will show you all of the batches that contain that sequence number. If you're coming in to submit data, you're going to click New Submission. It's going to pop up another window, so please make sure that your browser is set to allow for pop-ups. It's going to pre-populate who you are based on who has logged in, but you will want to give the file a new name. You can use the same naming conventions that we use now. So let's say that you are District 1, and you are submitting for St. Louis, and your dates are August 1st to August 10th. You're also going to want to choose who the field collector is, so what field staff collected this. This means that if you have multiple field staff, you have to load batches of data individually for each field collector. Next, you're going to want to choose your active profile. And what this does is it determines what fields you see when you are loading data. Most people will only have one active profile, and you won't have to think about this. Once this is set up, you have two ways to load data. The first way is to submit a CSV using this Import from CSV button. Once this opens, you're going to navigate to the data that you want to load. And then you're going to have a window where you can match what data in your file matches the import process. So for instance, site, that matches up to sequence number. Begin date and end date are already the exact same field names, so they will come in without any modification. Field direction is going to be your sequence number dir, and so on and so forth until you've filled out all of the necessary fields in order to import that file. I'm going to put in the collection units and the raw value, as well as any field note. Once you've finished, click Start Import. And you'll see that it has taken every single row and put it into this screen here. If there are any data errors or QC triggers, you will see that in here, and you'll be required to put in a note or validate the data. Once you've finished, please click Submit. If you close this window, it will not save the data that you have entered. Once you submit, you should get a window that says that it's been submitted and it's been either complete or it's been flagged for internal review. To ensure that you've submitted the file, you want to go back to this manual entry of counts. You may need to refresh the grid or refresh the page in order to see the files that have been loaded. If you ever want to open something up again, you would find that particular batch and double click it, and you could view the specifics of what was loaded. Another way to enter data is going to be through a one-by-one table entry. So you'll want to set up your file name, just like we did before. You're going to want to choose your field collector and your profile. But instead of using the import from CSV, you're going to enter in data in this grid right here. So we're going to start by entering a site. You will get a drop-down showing you available sequence numbers. And then you're going to want to hit the tab key and start filling out the information such as the begin date. Depending on your profile, certain information might be calculated for you, such as the end date. You want to choose your field direction. You'll want to choose, in this case, for this profile, the duration of the count. And you can see as I do that, the end date is calculated for me. You're going to want to choose your type of collection unit. You're going to want to put in the raw value. For some of you, you may see the summary value, and this is just the result of applying all of the factors and the conversion from collection units to a 24-hour average. If you have a note from the field, such as a new development, this is where you would add it. Again, if there are any QC flags that are triggered, those rows will be highlighted for you to fix. Please take a look at these keyboard shortcuts to see how you can quickly either copy a row or copy a direction to make data entry a little quicker. So in this case, I use the down arrow, which is going to copy the row. And in this case, if you're working along a set of sites, you can just modify the information that you need to. So in this case, I'm going to change this site to the next value. I'm going to leave the count date because that's the same. I'm going to change my direction code. The duration is the same, the units are the same, but of course the raw value is not. Once you've completed all of your data entry, again, you would submit the batch for approval. And once again, if you close this window without submitting, this will be lost. And this concludes how to use the scheduler and the manual entry of counts.